Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our fall financial reset, where we are maximizing our money moves with your host, Cassandra Thomas. Yes, we are also becoming financially fit, and we are inspiring communities to achieve financial freedom through education and application, providing accountability of practical principles as they relate to personal finance. All right, so who's ready to jump right into this discussion tonight? Well, tonight I have an interesting topic to talk about, and it all stemmed from a conversation that I had earlier today. Well, in this conversation, I was, first of all, meeting with the vision teacher for one of my students. And she made the comment that she's, hasn't been around because she's not well often, but that she was planning on retiring in the spring. And I said, "Oh, wow, that's exciting. Congratulations." And she says, "Well, I guess it's congratulations, but I don't know if I'll be able to eat." People, like, when she said that, like, it just made me pause and step back and say, so I was trying to figure out, like, why are you retiring? And then I was thinking, well, maybe health reasons. Obviously, she said that she hasn't been that well. But it also made me look at a bigger picture here, because here it is, someone who is in their late 60s and who is in a position where they can collect Social Security, who's working full time, but concerned about having enough to eat during retirement. Hmm. Hmm. Guys, that is not what I call financial freedom. And if you are, 20, 30, 40, 50, I need you to listen up. I need you to listen so that you don't find yourself in this situation when you do turn 60. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about how you can make sure that when you do prepare to retire, or when you're unable to work, that you will have enough money to not worry about whether you're going to be able to eat. Now, granted, this lady has pets, and she even says that she puts money aside for her pets. Yeah, our society, we love our pets, and I love pets just as much as anyone else. However, I am not going to save money so that I can have an emergency fund just in case my pets need surgery or need some kind of procedure to extend their lives when I can't eat. Um, you know, and it just kind of goes to show that maybe there is a little bit of a disconnect, like when it comes to self care, when it comes to personal finance, and knowing what is a priority and what is a need versus what is a want. Um, yes, I think Houston, we have a problem. And it's just the saying. But the issue is not so much that, she's saving for this pet. It's more about what are you going to do to put yourself in good position, whether you have pets or not, to retire and not worry about if you can feed yourself, not worry about if your basic necessities will be met. Um, she's still living in an era where social Security is available. I don't know what to think is going to happen to people when Social Security is no longer an option. And they talk about this often because our deficit in this country is huge. And so Social Security is something that may have to decrease tremendously, um, because there are so many people who are, taking a part. of Social Security. It's not just the elderly. It's not just people who paid into it. It's, maybe, orphan children. It's people who have obviously lost a parent, or perhaps are younger and could not work. Maybe they've been disabled for all their lives. So there are different reasons why, Social Security may not necessarily be there for the normal working class people who are spending all these years just waiting for that magical retirement number. Guys, retirement is not a number, but it is, well, I won't say it's not a number. It's not an age, but it is a number. And if you really want to put yourself in good position financially in order to have a to retire with dignity, shall I say, um, you need to do a few things. First of all, if you're not already doing it, you need to live on a budget. Okay. So important. I can't say it enough. There are so many people out here and they just hand to mouth. As soon as they get paid, all the money goes out as soon as it comes in. And then they don't even know what they spent it on. They don't know where it's going. All they know is that I have to work. I go so that I can have more to just spend like I spent the last time. Okay. I owe. So off to work I go. Um, my point is, when you have a spending plan, when you have a budget, you are being intentional. You are setting a purpose for your money. And remember, it's so important to have a purpose for your money so that you can take care of those basic necessities, such as food, shelter, transportation, utilities, insurance. There are things that you need to have budgeted for. You need to have them budgeted for so that even savings should be a part of your budget. I know that some people who are like, I don't have enough to just live off of, let alone savings. Well, that's where we talked about it in weeks before, maybe improving your skill set, finding an opportunity to make more money. You have to put yourself in position where you're able to take care of basic necessities. So budgeting is first and foremost. That is one of the best ways to become financially fit. The next thing you need to do is make sure that you save money. And I know some people are like, oh, you save money and, you don't make much off of it when you're saving it. Well, you save money for a purpose. Okay. Again, intentionality. Okay. So you're budgeting, you have a plan for your money, you are very intentional with your money, and you are saving your money for a purpose, not just so it can look really nice in your bank account, not just so you can say, oh, I have this amount of money saved. We have found that people who are just saving money, um, still, especially nowadays with inflation being so high, have a very difficult time, um, really being able to keep up with inflation. So you have to do a little bit more with your money. And that's where the investment comes in, investing your money, finding the right types of investment. I suggest that you invest in your retirement account, Roth IRA. Okay, it's an individual uh, uh, retirement account, and you know the part that the Roth of it is tax free because you pay the taxes up front. So when you are in retirement age, you don't have to pay taxes on that money again, okay, or penalties. So you really want to put yourself in position where you are saving money for retirement in a Roth IRA. You can manage it yourself. You can get someone who knows a little bit more about managing, like an advisor, to manage it for you. I do not manage other people's money. The only thing I do is I manage mine. And so I am a finance coach. I can encourage you, I can be that cheerleader, I can show you how to open up that account. I can show you some of the things that I do, but I do not manage people's money for them. So, that being said, you want to make sure that you have a retirement account. You want to, if your company has a match, go ahead and do that first. Okay. Go ahead and put it in that company match. You also, if you're doing this on your own, I suggest do both. Have some investments on your own where you can learn how to do this. And there's no better teacher than to actually get out there, get your feet wet, and then learn, okay, to do this. Um, I sat back for years and just let somebody else have control of my money. And I did not know that I needed to know how to manage my money. I needed to know how to invest. And once I learned how to invest, I was able to go and open up a Fidelity account, start funding that account because you have to fund the account. It's so funny. People will open up these accounts, maybe through Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, and they think, well, I opened up my account. Well, guess what? You actually have to transfer money into that account. That is the only way. And it's really best to make it automated. So if you know you're working and you're going to get paid every, I don't know, 15th and 30th, every other week, every week, then have maybe whatever that set amount that you choose go directly into that account every 2 weeks, so you don't even see it. Boom, from your check to that account. I suggest automating. Automating is one way to help you be consistent because that's the next thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be consistent. Um, I cannot tell you how many people I have met in the last year um, that have been close to retirement age, in retirement age, and don't have enough money for basic necessities. They are looking at um, having roommates, they're looking at going back to work. They are, you know, like racking up credit card debt, things like this, people, because they don't have enough for those basic necessities. So, my advice to you, and you can take it with a grain of salt, but I would suggest that you start today, okay, as soon as possible, going ahead, opening up that account, okay, that investment account. And if you can only add $10 a pay period, go ahead and do that consistently. If you can only, like I said, that some people they can say, oh, I can put $100 a pay period, or I can put, $500 a pay period, whatever it is that you can afford to go ahead and fund that account with. And I always tell people, think about it in percentages. So let's say your take home is 4,000 a month. Well, you want to invest minimum 10%. Okay. 10% to yourself that you save, and then and I give 10%, and then 10% to your investment account. Okay. So once you have your emergency fund fully funded, you can use that money that you're using to save to go into your investment account. So for instance, let's say, oh, it takes about 15,000 to have a fully funded 3 to 6 months emergency fund, maybe more, maybe less for you. But if it takes that, you will build up that emergency fund. And then once you have that amount in your emergency fund in a high yield savings account, then you want to take any extra money. So if I was putting 10% into that account until it's fully funded, and I'm putting 10% aside for my Roth IRA, my retirement account, um, then now I can put 20% towards my retirement account or my investment account. If you say, well, I don't want to put 20%, I want to maybe have more to give. So maybe instead of 10%, you give 15% and you put 15% towards this retirement account. I just want to caution you with that. Only, it's such, Bible does say it is more blessed to give than to receive. And that's absolutely true. The most fun that you will have is giving. But I can tell you right now, if you don't pay yourself and you just give all of it away, or if you increase that giving, and you don't have a fully funded um, retirement account, when the time comes, you're going to wish that you had. I never regret giving. And I'll tell people that, I never, like, when I have given to people, when I've been a blessing to people, I mean, I really just get overjoyed, filled up. It's exciting for me. And I'm sure it's exciting for you. But I can tell you right now, if you neglect to give to yourself, the gift of having financial freedom in your retirement, you will be wishing that you had more money in that account. So that's all. So sometimes, when you get in position, it would be lovely if you can put 20%. If you are over 50, and you're in position to put more than 10% in there, it would behoove you. It would be the best thing to do at this time is to put the 20%. Now, I know, I get it. Everybody is not there, and that's okay. If you are not there yet, you are working to get in position, and whatever you can put in there consistently, whether it's 5%, that's fine. Do that consistently so that when the time comes for you to retire or be unable to work, and you don't want to get to that point, where you're unable to work. You want to be able to enjoy. And I tell people, enjoy this journey along the way so that you don't find yourself regretting, oh, I wish I had traveled more. Oh, I wish I had done this more. I wish I had given more. I wish I had spent more time with my kids, with my grandkids. You don't want to have those I wish I would have. So you definitely want to spend the time with the ones you love. You definitely want to spend even the money that you need to spend on self-care. And you definitely want to, and part of self-care is what? Is making sure that your retirement accounts are fully funded. Your emergency fund is fully funded. Because remember, we're getting what? Financially fit. So, with this fall financial reset, guys, I have been having a ball talking about different topics, and I want you to have a strong financial future. So, that's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on making sure that we budget. I know you get tired of hearing me say that, huh? But it's true. Make sure that you live on a budget, that you eliminate debt as much as possible, that you build your emergency fund, and start to invest or continue to invest your money. I also was looking at something today and I thought about it because people always say, oh, well, if I made more money, then I would have more to invest, or I would have more to save, or I could do this, or I could do that. Um, Sometimes when we have more, we still don't do those things. So I suggest getting on a budget that will take care of your basic necessities, your food, your shelter, your utilities, transportation, insurance, basic necessities, and then look at what's left over. Really take a hard look at what else you can cut, because we talked about those subscriptions in the past. We talked about having over leveraged ourselves in debt. And when you do that, you're stealing from your future. When you decide that you are going to use credit cards and not pay them off, you are borrowing from your future. When you decide that you're going to have these car loans and not hurry up and pay them off, you are stealing from your future. So you want to make sure that you, as much as possible, get in position where you are living on a written plan, eliminating debt, building an emergency fund, and investing. So there was this guy, and he was retired at this point. Well, he's retirement age, and he was a parking lot attendant. hmm So, how much do you guys think they make? Well, the most this guy ever made was $12 an hour. Okay, $12 an hour. We say that's minimum wage. Well, guess what? That's the most he ever made all his life of working. And with this money, with this $12 an hour, he decided, or with less, when he wasn't even making that, he decided, you know what? I'm going to save $25 a month. Hmm. You're like, that's peanuts. What can you do with $25 a month? Guess what? As he saved that money in about 10 years, 10 to 15 years, I want to say 15, they said, and he was putting it into an investment account. As that money continued to grow and he continued consistently, he was intentional with his money, he was consistent with his money, and therefore his money began to grow. Okay. So as it began to grow, he had a net worth of about $25,000 after 15 years. Well, you might say, that's not much. Okay. Fast forward with intentionality and consistency. This guy ended up being in position to invest in some other stocks that received dividends. So he began to just reinvest those dividends. He would never take the dividends. And then at that point, he earned so much that he was able to pay off his house. Um, he had $500,000 in a retirement account or in these investment accounts. And he was also receiving money, regular payments. Because guess what? Now he's retirement age. He didn't have a mortgage. He didn't have a car payment. He says, I never had credit card debt. Just wasn't something that he was, going getting into debt with. And now he can retire with dignity because he was intentional and consistent. Uh, he made sure that he was financially fit. And how do we get financially fit? Well, first of all, we have to have a purpose and a plan for our money. We have to have a budget. We have to pay down or avoid debt. We have to maintain or create, build up an emergency fund. We have to invest. Like this guy could never just get rich off of saving, saving, saving. You know, maybe at some point he increased to $25, but maybe it was just with the dividends. But my point is consistency over long term And the right investments will end up giving you financial freedom, the kind of retirement that you've always dreamed of, having a paid for home, having half a million in retirement. And I know some people are like, these days, that's not going to go that far. Oh, yes, it will. Huh. When you have no bills and you have regular income coming in and you have that sitting in your portfolio, and all it keeps doing is earning money on its own, it's kind of like this. Once you get that first 100,000, guys, it's easy to get to that second 100,000 because that money keeps compounding. It keeps compounding. And now that he has a half a million, guess what? It's going to keep compounding as long as he's not touching that principal. So I just want to encourage you today that to encourage you to, not encourage you that, encourage you to think about all of these things. Think about how you can be intentional with your money, have a purpose and a plan for that money, how you can invest consistently. Okay. So, intentionality, purpose, and consistency. Those three together can help you to be financially fit and to retire financially free. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.